Just want to make sure that you're right here and listening to me. I started talking. I hadn't even pressed the start broadcast button. So I just want to say I'm here. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy that all of you are here, and that we are going to be sharing some thoughts and ideas about how to attract more and more wealth and abundance of all kinds into your life and living experience. So I'm really pleased that you can make it today, and hopefully you can continue to come to these free webinars and learn more and more about what the Silva Method lifestyle is all about. All that being said, I just want to say again, thank you for being here. Now, tonight's topic, as you know, has to do with talking about abundance. But when we talk about abundance, we're not just talking about wealth, although that is a very key factor in the whole picture, because wealth is important and it's for you to enjoy in all ways. But we're talking about abundance in all aspects of life. We're talking about abundance of time and love and energy and health, and I mean, just whatever it is that you want, you deserve to have it. Because I've always said you deserve to have it all, and all means all. Okay, so we said there's 3 steps to attracting abundance, and one of the first steps is to prepare. So preparing to receive all the goodness that life has to offer you. A lot of times we keep setting our goals and we keep thinking about all the things that we want to attract in our living experience, but we just say, I want. Oh, I want money. Oh, I want love. Oh, I want health. Oh, I want, all these things that we want, which is okay. You deserve that. And it's okay for you to ask for it too. I'm totally of the belief that you deserve to ask for everything you want, everything you've always dreamed of, because you deserve to have everything. You have one life. We have one shot at life that we know of for sure. Now, there's all kinds of ideas and beliefs that we may come back again and again and again. That doesn't happen to be one of mine. I think for me, in a universe of so many gazillions of stars and planets that we can't even imagine, I think it's possible that we may go somewhere else after this. So all that being said, we know for sure we have this life. And that's even sometimes questionable to some people, but we have this life that we know of. And what we want to make sure is that in this life, we are able to live it with joy and health and happiness and love and lots of money, because that's part of what brings the joy into our living experience. And that's part of what we're here to enjoy. We're here to enjoy life, being human, and have an amazing human experience. So we need to prepare. We need to prepare because, again, the wanting is only part of it, and it's not all that powerful. Wanting is not that powerful. Desiring abundance is just one piece of the whole pie, basically. Desire is like that subjective energy that motivates you to move forward to what you want to achieve in life, but it's not the biggest piece. The biggest piece is probably going to be in how you are going to allow yourself to attract all this goodness into your life, but you need to prepare. I always tell people, here you love, I think we said this in the last webinar, here you want to have the love of your life, you want to maybe potentially get married and, raise a family, but still you sleep in a single person bed. Excuse me, you're not preparing to receive that love. If I was going to be programming for the love of my life, which I did, and I told you that last time, I made sure I had a big comfy bed because one of these days we were going to use it, okay? So I was going to prepare for that. So if you're going to prepare for anything that you want more of in your life, and you're going to, get ready for it. Now, again, when we're attracting abundance, a lot of us are probably focusing in on money, and that's great. Again, I think it's a most amazing thing that we all deserve to have, and there's so much of it going around anyways. What's holding you back? You just start thinking, what is holding me back from the abundance or the wealth of the money that is out there, that is so freely being traded? I mean, we talked about lottery giveaways of $500 million. I mean, really? And we say there's not enough money to go around. Of course there's enough money to go around. And you should be able to have some of that money as well. But somebody's holding you back. And so aside from preparing, we need to investigate a little bit our beliefs, and we'll talk about that. And we also need to know how to open the door to not only give, but also to receive. So let's start with preparing. If it is money you're talking about, are you ready to receive the bucks? Are you ready to receive all that wealth and all that money? Do you know what to do with it? Do you know how to invest it? Do you know how to care for it? Do you know how to make it grow? Do you know how to invest it? Do you know how to save? Do you know how to respect it? These are all valid questions. Because if you can't make it grow, if you don't respect the money, if you don't know how to invest it, if you don't know how to nurture it, how to, befriend it, it's not going to stay with you very long, is it? So we need to do our homework. We need to do our homework as to what am I going to do once the money starts to roll in? Because it will. It'll start to roll in. But if it's going to roll in and you're going to disrespect it by just spending it faster than it rolls in, then there's something wrong with this picture. And you're not going to have it that long. I think it was Morgana Freeman who was talking about wealth and abundance. And I think she has a blog. And I tapped into one of her blogs one time. I thought she was very clever in how she put the relationship that we have with money. She said that we need to treat money like a lover that we really respect and love. I mean, so deeply that we want to keep this love in our lives. We want to keep this lover. You might want to imagine the money as someone we want to woo into our life, someone that we want to nurture and treat with respect, someone we want to be kind to and be affectionate with, someone that we would do everything we could in our power to make this a lasting relationship. I think about my husband, for example. I'll do anything for him, just to make sure that he's happy, that he wants a healthy manner. And I think money is very much like that. And Morgana Freeman opened that realization to me in this very special way. How do you treat money? Do you respect it? Do you nurture it? Do you make it grow? Your relationship with money, are you making it grow? I mean, I want you to take a moment just to look in your wallet or in your purse, wherever you carry your money. I want you to see how you hold, how you store your money in your wallet or in your purse. Or do you even store it in a wallet or a purse? I mean, maybe they're just crumbled up wads of paper that's in your pocket or in a bag somewhere in a little pouch that you have to kind of like undo these little wads to be able to see what the denomination of those bills are. Because if that's the case, you don't respect money very much, do you now? So I would say, look at your wallet, and if you have it in order of denominations, all of them face in the same direction, with all the numbers the same on the top side in order of value, then I think you probably do respect your money in a more special way than most people do. I have money workshops. It's called the Money in the Method, like Money in the Silva Method, or I have the Silva Manifesting Workshops, which I'm doing a tour throughout the world that's lasting the rest of the year. So you can come always and spend time with me during the weekend. And in these workshops, basically, we talk about money. But in Money in the Method, I always ask people, look at your wallet, and let me look at it, and let me see how your money is stored. And not always is it a pretty picture. So I want you to think about how much respect you have for your money. How are you preparing to receive more of it? Have you done your homework? Are you going to invest it? Are you going to put into some account? Are you going to save some of it? Are you prepared to utilize some of that for the long haul? Because after all, we're going to need to have money as we get older. That's a sure thing. So we'll need to have some kind of security, some kind of way to take care of ourselves. Are you thinking about it in those terms as well? And yes, of course, how much money can you set aside for the fun things, for the enjoyable things, for the niceties of life, to be able to enjoy the good things of life that life has to offer, because that's what abundance is all about. Abundance is about the plentifulness of the good things life have to offer. It's the whole idea of prosperity, having a lot of what you need as you need it when you need it. And I think sometimes we get stuck on thinking I have to have money saved up in the account or in my bank account, or like store it up because I need to make sure it's there. Where if you really honestly truly believe in the whole the concept that we'll be talking about tonight about money, then it's not always about having to store so much in an account, but more so about having what you need when you need it, and trusting that you will have what you need when you need it. But again, it's always good to have a little piggy bank on the side right there for you to feel that comfort, to feel that security, to have that freedom. Because with money or abundance of any kind comes security, freedom, the ability to be, do, and have what you need, comes joy, comes flexibility. It comes like all these amazing things that are part of just having this abundance in your life. But you need to prepare. You need to be ready for it. You need to know how to work with it. You need to start working on you. If you have a tendency to spend everything you have, if you have a tendency to be always in the negative, and as far as your expenditures go and your bank account goes, if you have a tendency to not save money, for example, then it's not going to be there for you. It's this whole element of respect that has to be there, and that you need to start or tightening your belt or taking a really good deep look at as to how you deal with money, because you need to have it. You need to have enough of it to make you happy, enough of it for a rainy day, enough of it for your retirement, enough of it for surprise situations that pop in life, or illness, or be what it may. But you need to know how to prepare for your money. We often think about people who win the lotteries or win huge amounts of money in Las Vegas in a slot machine, or be what it may, and they lose it. They lose it all. I mean, often they'll complain about relatives banging on their door asking for loans, or they go on and say, well, I've always wanted a Ferrari, I'm going to get a Ferrari, or make a big huge house, and they spend, and then they find themselves in debt, and they're miserable, and they go back to having nothing. That doesn't need to be you, and it won't be you so long as you prepare to receive. Okay, that's a big lesson. I think most of us who maybe didn't have money at one time, and then we came across it and started to attract more and more of it, we had to learn that lesson. Some of us had to learn it the hard way, including myself. But we had to learn that lesson in order to make it grow in our lives and have a good, healthy relationship that through time grows and grows and grows to the point that you're not even concerned about money anymore. And the other thing too is, I think, check out our beliefs about money. Our beliefs are really important, especially when they come to money. If you have a belief that money is the root of all evil, you're not going to get much of it, okay? If you think that money, it's like, it doesn't grow in trees, and there's a scarcity attitude about money, it's not going to be there for you either. If you think that it's not spiritual to have money, well, then guess what? If you're on the spiritual path, you're not going to have that money. If you think it takes a lot of work to earn money, well, here we go again. Then you're going to have to work your butt off to get that money. So what are your beliefs about money? Because if you're lacking money, and I know I'm talking about all kinds of other stuff as well. If you're lacking money, then you need to check the beliefs that are really fueling that lack, because they're there without a doubt. The other thing too, I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and he was saying, I do all the right things. I work hard. I do all my marketing the proper way. I sell online. I do like, live connections. I do everything, 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 everything. But it's just so hard these days. You have to work so much harder to make the buck. It's just not like the way it used to be 10 years ago. People used to come to me all the time for my services. Not like that anymore. And I'm thinking, like, you know what? As long as you keep believing that, that's going to be true for you. So you really need to start looking at your beliefs that are holding you back from really allowing all this goodness in your life. If you step out of the way, if you simply do everything you know how to do in all the right ways and get out of your own way, you're already moving forward in a positive direction. If you do the things that you know will help you to build more of that money, then you're moving in the right direction. All that is about preparing. The other thing about preparing to receive is that besides checking your beliefs and getting ready to attract more, or getting ready to work with this money effectively, you also need to get ego out of the way. Ego plays no role here. If you really want to grow your wealth or grow anything that's lacking in your life, you can't be coming from a point of ego, because it's not going to happen. If you want more money to show everybody how much you have, then you know what? That's not the place to start. That's not the place to be, because it's not going to be there for you. So ego, cannot be playing a role here. You need to have a good strategy. You need to make a good plan. You start doing your programming, and of course, keep up with your work ethics. Make sure that you're doing all the things that you've always learned to do, and do them well. Do them well. Be proud of what the work that you're doing, so that you can be a valuable person with capabilities and skills that are demanded by others, and you deliver. You have good work ethics. You prepare for the money you're going to be getting. You treat the money right, and you are able to grow it. So all of that has to do with preparing to receive. Now, all that being said, the other thing that we need to look at, now, besides preparing and your beliefs kind of comes into the preparing part, is that you need to give some of it away. I know some of you are thinking, like, what? Give some of it away? I don't think so. But you need to give some of it away, because part of receiving money has to do with giving it away. This has to do with, like, the law of reciprocity that states for every action there is an equal or opposite reaction. This law is often referred to as the law of action and reaction. But that's not the only law that's going to be playing a role here. Another one has to do with the law of compensation. Similar, but this one says for every action given, taken, or done, there will be an equal and just compensation. So in layman's language, it's the same thing as saying what goes around comes around. So if what goes around isn't something that's giving, then why would anyone want to give to you? If the law of reciprocity that states basically for every reaction there is an equal opposite reaction, if you're not giving, well, why would you be there to receive anything as well? And the law of reciprocity really gets real close. It's real similar to the law of cause and effect. They're very close to each other as far as universal laws or principles are concerned, but they're very fluid. And the reason it's so fluid is because the outcome is not always predetermined. It is totally dependent upon the nature of the action that takes place. So if you are coming out from your heart and genuinely want to help others, or you give to others, then that genuine reciprocated action, it's going to be there for you as well. I mean, it's just one of those things that kind of goes on. But the point is that when we think you have to give some of what you've got, a lot of times really causes a lot of people to say, well, whoa, wait a minute. I only have $100 to my name. I don't have very much. I'm struggling with money, or I'm struggling in my love life, or I'm struggling with health, or I'm struggling with my ideas, or I'm struggling whatever it is that you are lacking. And scarcity mentality has to do with this, that most people, when they have something of value, they hold on to it instead of sharing it or giving it away. And they think they have their first action is to hide it or to keep it in the dark and protect it. They keep it to themselves in fear that someone else might take it and they're going to run with it. This type of behavior has to do with your mindset. That's all it is. What is your mindset like? If I was to ask you, define your mindset as far as abundance is concerned, what would you say? Do you lean more towards scarcity? And you'll know that by evaluating your life and how you live. Or do you lean more towards abundance? You'll know. So think of your mindset. Thinking that there's a limit to what you have, do, or think is scarcity thinking. That you have to, that if you give what you have away, then you will produce more of it in the same or better manner. And that fear has you stuck in a mindset of lack and limitation. You have to get away from that. You can't fear that if you give things away, you're gonna have less of it. It only allows you to have more of it. I've run into that too many times. Sometimes I help people and friends of mine with ideas, and sometimes even my staff might say, don't give your ideas away, don't give your meditations away, don't give, because then they're so good that you should keep them to yourself. I'm thinking, if they're so good, I should give them away, because that way I'll come up with more good ideas, for meditations or for building a business or for be what it may. But the scarcity mentality can be quite painful. Have you noticed? Those of you who are lacking, you're suffering. You're suffering because you don't have enough of what you want in life, and it is painful. It creates a lot of unnecessary fear, anxiety, and desperation. If you have a scarcity mentality, then you'll probably take things too seriously. You may think to yourself, if I fail, the sky will fall. Oh my God, it's the worst thing. And here comes ego all over again into the picture. The sky's not going to fall, and you know that. But you think it will. You think it's the worst thing in life. You'll think that you're at the bottom. You'll think that you're in a loose space with your peers or your coworkers or whatever it may be. And you'll become really, really nervous. And then poof, you'll have created a self-fulfilling prophecy of failures, because your inner self-created negativity puts obstacles in your path of success. And you know that to be true, because too often I hear people say, oh my God, here's the evidence. I told you it was going to be like that. I said, of course it's going to be like that, because the scarcity mentality has attached to it a lot of different beliefs that don't help in the least bit. They just hold you back, and that's all they do. So you need to be really, really careful with that scarcity mentality. For example, if it's like a game that you're playing, then maybe you'll fumble, the ball. If it's an exam, for example, then maybe you may not have been able to sleep the night before, and you'll perform poorly in the test. If it's a date, for example, then you may come off as too needy and nervous and not as your usual more relaxed self. If it's a business deal, then you may say or do something stupid that will totally break rapport with the other person. And all of that is part of what happens when you have expectations based on scarcity. Your expectation will create what you expect to see. And so, that expectation, or knowing that expectation creates your reality, is going to make a big difference in how you're going to live with abundance or lack. That's up to you. On the other hand, an abundance mentality tells you that there's always new chances and opportunities. Wow, simply saying that, doesn't that make you feel good? Just say that. An abundance mentality means that there are always new chances and opportunities. Doesn't that feel great? I mean, that thought alone feels amazing. This relieves so much pressure that you may feel if you have a scarcity mentality that makes you think that you've only got one shot, one opportunity. So think, what do you prefer? What feels better? What's a better way of thinking and being? You don't need to feel like an utter failure and stumble across things that are going to hold you back from all the things that you enjoy in life. An abundance mentality allows you to see life in a more long-term perspective, and it can help you improve your performance, since with it, you're creating a lot less pressure and anxieties within your own mind. With an abundance mentality, If something doesn't go great, you say that's all right, because next time I'll even go greater. It'll be fine. But you've got to start by giving what you've got. I know it sounds weird, but you need to start there. When you begin to give what you've got, and I'm not talking about giving the bank away or anything like that. I'm just talking about giving from where you are. If you don't have very much, then you give from where you are. For example, one of my daughters was living in New York City, trying to get into a work scene that she was involved in. She's a dancer, professional flamenco dancer. And this just goes back a few years. And she called me from New York City, and she says, gosh, Mom, I'm just not sure what to do. I haven't been able to break in yet. And, and my finances are dwindling. And I told her, I said, hey, come on, I'll send you some money. No. I mean, she's one of those kind of girls, one of those kind of people who has a lot of integrity and refuses to take money. So I said, okay, fine. I said, well, then this is what you need to do. I said, you need to give some of what you got to someone who is less fortunate than you. And she said, Mom, I have like $100 to my name. I said, well, that's a lot more than a lot of people have. I said, if I were you, I would, go out and, there's plenty of people on the streets, and you're going to find someone who is a lot more needed than you are. And you're going to give that person something. So she calls me back about a week later, and I've been sending her energy, hoping that she was doing well. And she said, something really interesting happened to me. She said, I did what you said, because I also told her, don't give because I'm telling you to do it. Give because you genuinely want to help the other individual. So that was a rule. And she said, fine. So then she said that she woke up one cold, winter day in New York City, went to go get a cup of coffee and something to munch on. And as she was walking into the coffee shop, she saw this older man, cold, with problems with his legs, couldn't walk well. And he really, really, she said, looked very, very needy. And I felt for him. She said, I really felt for him. I felt his suffering. And I thought to myself right away, gosh, how horrible it must be to be in that situation where I'm with my nice warm coat and I'm getting a cup of coffee, and then it dawned on me, you know what, let me get him a cup of coffee, let me get him something to munch on. And I gave him a little bit of money that I had on me, she said. And when he looked up at me, she said, he looked at me with these piercing blue eyes and he blessed me. It was a blessing that went deep into my soul. And I thought, oh my God. And I felt it. She says, I really appreciated that blessing. And as I went by my day, I couldn't get him out of my mind. I was just hoping he was okay and everything was fine. And I went to a dance studio that I wanted to, maybe work at. And I went there and I said to the woman who owned the studio, I said, look, I know you don't know me. I'm going to sound like a crazy person off the street, but I'm a dancer and I'm in New York City. And I explained my story. And I said, I'd be happy to help you here in any way that I can. I'll even clean the bathrooms. I'll fix your things. I'll make the studio look really nice and easy. And if I can be of service, by all means, I'll be here to help you. And then if you want to pay me, fine. If not, I understand. But if you do pay me only for what I'm good at, pay me because you really believe that I'm valuable. So when she got going, the woman did accept her. She's only 5 feet tall. She's like this big. She's super petite, of course, not threatening the least bit. But when the woman of the studio accepted her, she saw her talent and she goes, oh my God, you're amazing. And she took her on and not only paid her for helping out, but then paid her to do some of the workshops. And then she said, I have some friends and that also have little restaurants and flamenco places that I can introduce you to them. They might want you to dance there. Well, let's make it a long story short. By the time you knew it, she was working every single day. She had maybe 4 gigs a week. She was working at the studio and she kept attracting more and more wealth. And then she joined a dance company that she went on tour and they just kept on getting bigger and bigger, greater, more and more. And she's been doing amazingly well. And she commented to me, she goes, gosh, Mom, you were right. She goes, here, when I let go of the fear of not having, because I genuinely wanted to help someone who had less, it totally opened that door for me to receive. And that's the thing that we need to remember, that we open the door to receive. Start by giving what you've got. To create the abundance mindset, be willing to give. And it's so different with, money as it is with love or ideas or time or anything. You may be very frugal with your money, and that can be a good thing, but you can't live being afraid to spend it or to share it or to give it away. Remember that holding on to money doesn't bring more of it to you. It's the contrary. Holding on to your money, it just shuts that door for you to receive more money. And holding on to or hoarding onto your money in fear is evidence enough that you don't think there's enough of it to go around. Money's like breathing. It's like the air that you breathe. It's everywhere. You don't worry about, if I breathe, where's my next breath going to come from? Your attitude and your belief about breathing, the naturalness of air coming into your system and out of your system is something that's so a part of who you are that there's no conflict. There's no belief that states otherwise. There's no doubt that you're going to have that next breath. Same thing with money. It's there. It's everywhere. Just you need to first release the fear of not having enough, because then you're projecting the scarcity mindset, and that mindset is based in fear. Some people are always running out of time, like it was cash or some commodity. They're always in a panic to get stuff done. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. And isn't it odd how the people who are the busiest are the ones who always seem to have more time to do more things? I always think if you really want to get the job done, give it to a busy person, because they know how to make the most of time. They always find time to make great things happen. But if you're always in a panic to get stuff done, it's like they're time vampires. They're going to suck all the time away. There's not enough time for doing anything else. They devour their time and suck the life out of themselves until there's no time at all for them. They run around in circles doing nothing. Oh, but there's always time to surf the web, or there's always time to get on the phone and talk on long conversations, and there's always time to whatever, but not enough time to do the things that are valuable. I'm just saying, it's up to you. You think about it. You decide if this does or doesn't apply to you. But having lack of anything means that there is an aspect of scarcity, or that scarcity mentality in your mind. And you need to remember that the way you do anything is the way you do everything. If the way you deal with money, or the way you deal with time, or the way you deal with love is probably consistent across the board. So I don't think if you had a lot of abundance, you probably are going to have time. You're probably going to have ideas. You're probably going to share your love. You're probably going to have a lot of joy. But if you're don't have it, then you're probably holding on, and you have that my mind not enough. You might not want to share or your time or your ideas or your love or your joy. Just saying, I don't know. Maybe it's true for you. Maybe it's not true for you. But if there is, then there's lack in one area, there tends to be lack in other areas of your life, because it comes down to your mindset. So how do you break that pattern? Again, you've got to be willing to give from where you are. Give what you've got, because giving signals the more than enough mindset. It signals abundance. When you're in a state of giving, and giving willingly, that's a key. You're telling others and yourself that there's plenty, and that there's more than enough to go around, more than enough for everyone. Brad Jensen says, you receive through the same doorway through which you give. The way to receive freely is to give freely. Quality is more important than quantity, since the universe amplifies thought into circumstances. Begin giving and let the universe perfect your giving. It's just ways that you can really just go with that. So if one is to prepare for the abundance that you're going to be attracting in your life, whether it's going to be money or love or time or ideas or happiness or health, then preparing is probably one of the most important things. But that's tied into your belief structures, okay? Just to have a little bit of a review. That's tied into your belief structures. And then once you clear up your belief structures, then you can really focus on being able to give, because in the giving, there is receiving. But you've got to give willingly and sincerely from your heart. So if, let's say, if you're short on time, for example, then if that's the case, give some of your time away. You can give time to others or to charitable groups, or you can go to a hospital, or you can, donate some of your time to, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's always a way for you to be able to give of yourself, to give of your time, to serve others. Just find that balance between giving and receiving. That's the most important thing. Find maybe an organization or a person that you really love and volunteer some of your time. Give your time away. So who can you give some time to? Or to what person can you give some of your time to? I think it's important for us to start thinking about that, because how you do anything is how you do everything. Remember that, okay? So take a few moments just to think about that. If I was going to give more of my time, then who would I give it to? Or to what group or organization could I give more of my time? Maybe it's a mentorship program. Maybe it's a big brother or big sister kind of a program. Maybe it's just simply going to the orphanage, or maybe it's to your own family. Maybe you're not giving enough of yourself or spending enough time to have a family outing. And you think, oh, I'm too tired, I don't have time. And yet you're missing out on probably the best thing, and you're depriving them of probably the best thing as well, which is being with you. And so giving some of your time can be really, really important in certain situations. So where can you invest more of your time? Because as you give more of your time away, you're going to find that you're going to receive more of that time. You're going to have more time to share with others because you value it. You're going to use it wisely. You're going to honor it. Just like Morgana Freeman said about money, the same thing is true about time. The more you value your time and you use it in a way that you nurture it and you let it grow, you will have more time to do things that are of greatest value for you. Not things like watching TV soap operas or investing, maybe not even investing, but spending hours on end surfing the web just because, or Facebooking. I mean, I think it's great to connect, don't get me wrong, but what better than connecting belly to belly, with the people that you love the most. And I think that's a really important thing that we need to consider, and we don't always do that, do we? If you feel like you're stuck, then you want to get unstuck, then help others. Be of service to others who are needing ideas to get themselves unstuck. We have family and friends, coworkers that you see them that they're like struggling through life. They're not sure what to do or how to move forward. And maybe you have a little bit more experience than they do. And because you do, you can maybe offer some ideas or help them along the way as to how they can get unstuck. It might sound weird that I'm talking about these different things, but all in all, again, we go back to the way you do anything is the way you do everything. If you have a scarcity mindset in one area, such as money, you probably have it in other areas of your life. So again, as you help others to become unstuck, for example, you yourself will find that you have more freedom to move forward in the direction of your choosing. So who can you help along the way to get unstuck, to get to move forward in the direction of their choosing? Help them create a plan. Show them how to strategize, how to take the first step. How to create a vision of where they want to go, because clear outcomes will result clear pictures will result in clear outcomes. And so we need to have that clarity of vision. We need to know where we want to go, and that begins to open the path for us to get unstuck. So that's also something that we can help others with. Maybe it's about self-belief, self-esteem, self-confidence. And even though you may feel maybe not as confident as you would like to feel, or maybe you don't have the kind of self-esteem that you would like, or self-worth or self-value that you would like to have, there's probably someone who has it even worse than you. Trust me on that one. I'm sure you can think of people like could really use a boost of confidence from someone that they respect and admire. Look at your the young ones in your family, maybe teenagers who are struggling with their identity or wondering how to move forward, or need help maybe in applying for college, or need help with whatever it is, and maybe in relationships or in building friendships. Maybe they're not that social. Maybe they need social skills, and you have that. You can help them you can help them increase their self-esteem and their self-belief and their confidence. See the goodness in them. And as you see the goodness in them, you too will be able to see the goodness in you. And it's just the way it works. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. If you're short on ideas, give some of your ideas away. That's one of the main things. I mean, if you have great ideas that you can work with, don't hoard them, because the more you give them away to others that may utilize these ideas, then you're able to stir more of those thinking patterns to create even greater, bigger, more wonderful things. So the whole idea that we're talking about here is that whatever you feel that you have lack, you want to give some of that away, because in giving, you will receive. I remember years back being in Greece, we were having an exercise that I'll tell you about, so that you can do it yourself. An exercise where we had energized a coin, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And the energized coin was to attract abundance. And so I took with me a gold tone dollar bill or dollar coin from the US, and I take them everywhere I go when I do this particular workshop. And we energized it, and they're usually really shiny and pretty because I get them from the bank, and they've been, they're new, and they look really, really great. And we energized the coin, and we energized it for abundance. And then what we did after that, people weren't expecting it, is to give it away. And two interesting things happened during that exchange. One young girl who had lost everything, all her money in the stock market, didn't want to give her coin away, because she had such a pretty shiny gold tone US dollar coin that she didn't participate in the exercise, and she held it to herself, and she just kind of just sat there, didn't do any of it. I didn't notice that. I found out later, because she told the group, while everybody was giving their coin away, they would give their coin away to someone, say, I wish you, hold this coin in the palm of your hand, and I wish for you a great abundance to come your way. This coin will be a reminder for you to keep that door of abundance open, to give, because in giving you will receive abundance in love, abundance in health, abundance in joy, abundance in ideas, abundance in money, lots and lots of money, and then for the rest of your life, something like that. And they would receive this coin, and then they would give their coin back. And so you never were out of a coin, because you're always exchanging coins and blessings of abundance. So they would give you their coin to you, and do the same thing. So by the time we did this for maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes, everybody had probably exchanged 20 and 30 coins already. And the energy had really gotten really high, and everybody was happy and wonderful. And it was just amazing. So at the end, when it's all said and done, this young girl starts to cry, and she says, I just realized I've never in my life have I ever given anything away, and now I've lost it all. I said, well, didn't you give the coin away right now? She goes, no. She said, I kept it because it was so shiny and pretty, and I wanted to hoard it. She kept it to herself. She was hoarding it because she didn't think she was going to get another coin as pretty as hers. I mean, like, really? Come on. So then at that point, she really started crying and bawling out, and then she ran off to the bathroom to compose herself. And then people in the group very lovingly kept exchanging coins with her, and some even left their coins on her desk, on her table. And when she came back and she saw, like, she had a collection of coins, I mean, she was very touched, and of course cried even more. That was interesting. But the realization was really important for her. Since then, she's contacted me, and she said that she started to give from where she was at, and that her life has taken a turn, an amazing turn for the better, and that she is now living with abundance and wealth of all kinds. And the other interesting thing, too, that happened was that And this goes to our third piece, which is about receiving. There's a woman, an older woman in that same group. And when I exchanged my coin with her, she put something in the palm of my hand that was not a coin. She folded my hand over it and she gave me the blessing. You know, let this always remind you of the goodness you have coming your way, and on and on. And when I opened my hand, it was a ring. And I looked at her and I said, I can't accept this. And she looked at me straight in the eye and she says, you must. Otherwise, you close the door. And I thought, oh my God, that's so true. I have to accept it. And she said, just always when you wear it, and I do wear it, she says, think of me and send me some, good wishes, and I do. And I thought, wow, that was probably the hardest part of this lesson, is to receive. Because if you don't allow yourself to receive, you shut that door closed. That's part of the law of reciprocity. As you give, you need to maintain the door open to receive. You can't give and shut, give and shut, give and shut, because then you're never going to get the goodness of what life has to offer. It's not going to come your way. A lot of times we get, again, ego gets in the way. Say, oh, no, I'm okay, I'm fine, I don't need anything, I'm good. And all along, you're not good, you're not fine, you need help. You need help, you need assistance, you need money, you need a helping hand, whatever it might be, an idea, a strategy, whatever. And you need to receive that. You need to allow yourself to receive that goodness in your life. Because if you don't, that door gets shut. And then you're giving all the time. And you feel exhausted from giving. And then you say, why am I always giving? I'm being taken for granted. Nobody appreciates me. And it's not that. It's that you're not allowing it in your life. You need to allow it in your life. And you need to receive it. And just say, thank you. Thank you for this help. Yes, can you help me with this? Yes, thank you for that gift. Yes, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And be able to receive it as you give it. And that's a hard lesson, even for me. Sometimes I need to be reminded, and my students will often remind me and say, hey, you got to receive it. Just say thank you. I think you're right. Thank you. And I receive it. So I take it in, put it in my pocket. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It will go to good use, whatever. But you need to receive, and that's one of the most important lessons. Now, I also want to make sure that I answer any of your questions, so I want to make sure that you're writing questions if you have them there. So we're talking about preparing to receive, the giving and the receiving, and the belief structures that have to be in the way. And here goes. The way you do, Victoria says, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. Explain why usually I overeat and overspend during the same time periods. Does that need an explanation? You overeat and overspend. You overdo it. I mean, that's the way you do anything. It's the way you do everything. You overdo whatever you have, but you just overdoing it and overdoing it. So yeah, I mean, it sounds to me that the way you do everything is the way you do anything is the way you do everything. No, and that does explain. Okay, I get it. That explains why usually you overeat, you overspend. Okay, got it. Is the Silva system online where I could pay for it and listen online rather than receive CDs in the mail? Elaine, yes, it is an online program. The Silva Life system is on with Hay House. So you'll need to go to hayhouse.com and then look for Laura Silva Quesada or the Silva Life system and order it from them. But remember that you can always upload your CDs if you have them. I'm one of those people who likes to have both. So I usually, and even then I upload my CDs and I carry them in my player, my MP3 players or my iPads, or I have them everywhere I go. Even my own CDs, just let you know. And then Susie says, all means all. Love it. You're the best. Gracias for this. Please share tips for releasing subconscious blocks to receiving money and breaking the cycle of having it. Then now, none. Having it, then none. Okay. Just started happening 10 years ago. Enough already. My beliefs are on track and prepared. Ego out of the way. All my life is very generous in giving away. Adelante already. Have bills to pay and down to the wire. Tips appreciated. Thank you. So, for releasing subconscious blocks to receiving money. I don't know if we did it here in this particular group. But basically, I was telling somebody else who was writing about subconscious blocks, where do I go? Again, it has to do with where are the areas of lack. So when you have an area of lack, what you want, let's say it is money, as an example. You want to go into your meditation and you think, what is lacking in my life? I'm lacking money. Okay, fine. So then you say the opposite of that to yourself. You say, I deserve to have a lot of wealth. I deserve to have a lot of wealth. I deserve to have unconditional love. I deserve to be loved and loved unconditionally, or whatever it is, all right? As you say the opposite of what you're lacking, then you just, without judging, you listen. Just listen in your mind to voices maybe that come in, or memories of people in your long ago past, probably people who raised you, father, mother, elders, whatever, and notice what they're saying. We say, I deserve to have love, or I deserve to have a lot of wealth. You might be hearing things like, no, you don't. I mean, we're never going to be rich, because look at where we were born. I mean, our people never, had money, get used to the idea, or whatever. Money doesn't grow on trees, or that's where you start hearing those beliefs. Those are subconscious beliefs. Those are subconscious things that are running your life right now. But I think it's best for you to ask, or for you to state in the positive, I deserve to have it all. I deserve to have money and great wealth. And then listen and keep saying that over and over again. And then when you hear those voices of your past, then you're able to think, oh my gosh, that's right. Dad used to always say that money doesn't grow on trees, or the money is the root of all evil. Oh my God, that's right. Now I'm still believing that at some point. So let me rephrase that. Let me create a new belief. And you might want to go back and think of you as a child hearing those remarks and believing them, buying into them, because we always want to buy into what our parents think as children. And if our parents think, oh yeah, money's the root of all evil, we go, oh my God, money's the root of all evil, and we'll buy into it. But now as an adult, you know better. But yet those subconscious programs are still running the show. So you want to go back and talk to that little child of you and say, hon, I love you so much, but when Dad says that, that's his belief. It's not ours, because really, money is an amazing commodity, or it's amazing energy that really helps to bring joy and freedom and security and all the good things in life. And you can share it with others and make other people happy as well. So what's a better belief to have? And then allow the child to say, or you might want to give the child ideas as to what's a better belief, and then allow the child to say, yeah, that's a good one. I think I want to believe instead that money is a wonderful energy that brings great joy and happiness to people who have it. And I can share it. And so that's wonderful. That's a good idea. And so make an agreement, with you and your subconscious, which is that child who represents your subconscious and those programs. Make an agreement that from now on, you will choose to believe that money is an energy that brings great joy, freedom, health, and security, not only to yourself, but for others who you share it with. Something along those lines. I hope that helps. I hope that helps in kind of dealing with some of those old subconscious programs. I always say the opposite of what you're lacking, and say it in a really positive manner, and then see what comes up. Let me see. I think Victoria says, is it possible to chase money away by grasping after it? Well, if you're grasping to me means that you're grasping but not holding on to it. And you feel like there's still a scarcity about it, so you're grasping. With money, no, money just comes. It comes to me freely. It comes to me like air. I mean, sometimes it's like, oh my God, look at, now this came in, and out of the clear blue. I've been receiving money from areas I didn't even expect I was going to receive it. And so again, when you're grasping, there is a scarcity about grasping. Because sometimes I notice that people who relax about money seem to attract it. Yes, because they have a more abundant mentality. They have a belief that it's always going to be there for them, that they'll always have what they need whenever they need it. My husband has a great belief, I have to say. My husband has a belief that states that money comes to me so plentifully because I help so many people. And you know what he does? He's always helping people, and he always is paying forward a lot of things to people. And that's something that you might want to do as well. Pay forward some goodness, whether it's money, ideas, time, love, whatever it might be. Pay it forward. I, throughout the day, probably hug at least maybe 15 times. and that's something we do. Maybe I'm Latina and that's why as well, but hugging is a real big part of me and my being. So I always tell people I love you, and I hug them, or I write them messages, I love you, miss you, and I'm always constantly giving so much love away. But I think that's one of the reasons why I receive a lot of love. We're always, my husband and I are very charitable. We're always giving to charities, and we give from where we're at. And we're always very charitable, and we participate in these organizations, and we want to help out as much as we can. So if you're grasping at it, then you're not relaxed about it, and you think that it's not going to be there for you. So I would kind of like look into that a little bit more. It says, thank you so much. I've always loved attending your seminars. I have a quick question. What is Silva Ultra? Well, the Silva Ultra seminar has to do with healing more than anything else. It's akin to like Silva Mind Body Healing, but we also work with energy work. So we do transference of energy, we do hands-on healing, we do energizing of water. So we work with a lot of our human energy fields for the healing for healing outcomes, for positive healing outcomes. But we use magnetic energy, electrical energy. We talk about different things that we can do to enhance ourselves in spirit, mind, body, emotions, and also work with always stress and belief structures, and that's always a part of it. So that's the Silva Ultra seminar. Now, years ago, there was a program called Silva Ultra Mind, and there was kind of a takeoff on what we have as far as the second half of the Silva method, which has to do with intuition building. But it was just a piece of it. It was more like a spin-off, and anyways, I don't think it's going anywhere if it's Silva Ultra Mind. So I don't really put much attention to that. I don't support it. I have nothing to do with that. But Silva Ultra Seminar, that's one that I do teach that is approved by Silva International. So just want to tell you that. Now listen, guys, what I want you to do today, if possible, if not later on, get 4 coins, just 4 coins. And you can have any coins you want, and 1 you're going to keep, and 3 you're going to pass forward. You're going to pay it forward. And you're going to get those coins, put them go into your meditation, put them on your left hand with the right hand over it. And you're going to go into your meditation, and as you go into your meditation, you're going to imagine blue-white color of energy coming out of your hand. This energy is energy of abundance. You give it that meaning. It's this energy of abundance, energy that carries with it abundance of money, abundance of health and time, love and joy, ideas, everything. And you charge these coins in your hand, and you imagine that these coins are absorbing this energy of abundance, and that they're glowing with this blue-white wonderful energy of abundance. And each one of your coins is charged with this wonderful energy, that you're going to keep one of those coins. And you imagine also that they're attracting a lot of abundance, a lot of money your way, a lot of opportunities, a lot of health and healing, a lot of happiness and joy, everything that you want. And you charge these coins up and charge them up until you in your gut, in your intuition, you feel, okay, good, they're charged, wonderful, yeah. Okay, and then you get one of those coins and you store it in one of your wallet, purse, whatever, that you can always have it with you, and always let it be a reminder that abundance is there for you to enjoy. There's a lot of it in the universe, and you deserve to have as much of it as you want. You deserve to have as much money as you want, but also time, love, health, happiness, everything. You deserve to have it all. And then the other 3 coins, you're going to give them to people who you care and love, and who will resonate with what you're thinking and saying. They say, I give this coin to you. Let this coin has been energized with abundance. Allow this coin to be a constant reminder that abundance is coming to you, and an attractor, a money magnet of sorts. And keep it in a place where you can always see that, and always say, this coin is a money magnet that is not only attracting money, but abundance of all kinds. And you give it to them, and you say, I wish you great blessings and abundance of all kinds. And give that to 3 people. Pay it forward to 3 people. And I think you're going to find that you do yourself a great service. Remember, money, and to have it, and to have abundance of all kinds, is honoring the spiritual energy that exists. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And it is so spiritual. You're honoring your spiritual nature by having money and joy and health and love and ideas and time and everything, because that's what you deserve. That's what you can create. Some people have the wrong idea that it's not spiritual to want money or to have money. I mean, that's such a ridiculous statement. It's as ridiculous as saying it's wrong. It's not spiritual to be healthy. It's not spiritual to have time. It's not spiritual to be happy. It's not spiritual to have love in my life. It's so ridiculous. So change that perspective and start saying it is. I'm a spiritual being, and to honor my spiritual nature means that I have abundance of everything. Guys, I hope, we had a good conversation. I hope this helped. I'm really happy that you're here. And I think some of you wanted for the next topic to be on weight management or something along those lines. So I think we're going to do the next one. I don't want it to just be weight in that sense, but more like maybe ideal weight for maximum health, because we want to continue to be healthy and be healthy throughout life. Exactly. So I, for one, plan to die in perfect health, and I hope that you join me on that one. So next time when we meet, let's get together and let's have this wonderful discussion on what it's going to take for you to find your ideal weight for maximum health. Love being here with you guys. I look forward to seeing you again. I think our next one is I will be traveling. So I think our next call is going to be on the 19th of April, okay? I leave for Athens on Friday, and I'm not back till the 12th. And so we're going to go ahead and do this 3 weeks from now, which is the 19th of April. I hope you can make it, and let me know if there's anything I can do and for you and help you in any way. So love having you guys here. Enjoy the rest of your day or night or whatever it might be. Talk to you real soon. Bye.